closer look at the product. You know, what Will has done is set the scene. I'd like to let you have a little look at what the product actually looks like. Some of you have seen something similar because you're on maybe 2013, 2015 NAV. This is 2016. And I just thought it would be interesting to do a kind of short history lesson. That's where NAV started. That was the original NAV screen. You know, you'd have loved that. That's going back a bit.
No one's still on that, right?
No, just we might have one or two on this one. We then moved to the window version. This is where we came in. This is 1996. This is where Turnkey started working with this. It was called Navision Financials, and then for some reason Navision UK thought, Navision Financials, that's not a great name. Why don't we call it Navision Attain? So it was Navision Attain for about a year, I think, and then they thought, stupid idea. Microsoft bought them, and it started to look funny. Strangely enough, started to look like Outlook, what we have here. And that was probably about Navision 4 or 5. Then we had the first generation of the role-tailored client. This is the role of the president. And so we're up to today. This is now 2016. So, as I say, let's take a look. The things I wanted to highlight are things that Will has highlighted, but I wanted to highlight them in the context of today, because Will's kind of alluded to it, that we have, you know, latest and greatest stuff, Power BI. You know, when you now log into that powerbi.com site, you'll find there is actually a service there called Microsoft Dynamics NAV, lets you connect to your NAV data. So there's a challenge there for ourselves and for people like Paul from Jet Reports, because he's going to talk around, well, yeah, there is this Power BI, but we've got Jet Reports, and Jet Reports does all of this, and this is why you should be looking at Jet Reports in the context of NAV. Functionality-wise, a couple of things that are probably worth mentioning. Exchange rates, if any companies are operating with multiple currencies, we can now do a direct feed straight into NAV from the exchange rate tables. In actual fact, a lot of us have been doing that anyway. We've written that kind of stuff ourselves, but having said that, it's now kind of standard. Again, Will mentioned it, building document management into OCR, bringing documents in. We have products such as IDEN from the Continua product, which we've got a number of companies using. And again, what I'm looking for today, and I think you should be looking for, is feedback from the guys there about, well, what does that do, and then why, you know, why should we go down that road? You know, why should we just be buying a third-party product? What's different if we buy what's a third-party product versus what's actually in NAV itself? CRM, that is a big move, and I'll tell you why the connectivity is a big move. We have got sites who use NAV and who use CRM, but we've always had to go down the road of using a product. We've had a product called Scribe that sits between the two. So it's extra cost, extra technology that's built in there. And the reason was, quite simply, there was a CRM connector in NAV, but frankly it was useless. You know, it really was pathetic. It really didn't do very much at all. So suddenly they really have up the game, because they've seen, I don't think it's any secret, Office 365, CRM, what they're trying to do is drive new NAV business from that side. You know, get traction where people are buying CRM solutions and then going, oh, we need an ERP solution, and then NAV, it talks straight to it. There is now quite a connector, as you can see there's now quite a lot of functionality already there available, letting us integrate from NAV to CRM. So that's important. For many years we've written CRM stuff ourselves using what's standard in NAV, but that's becoming a game changer for us. The phone, as mine's in my pocket. The phone, huge change. The capability now to use, well, they describe it, it's a universal app. That's how they describe it. Whether you're on your desktop, your tablet, your smartphone, whether you're Apple, Android, Microsoft Mobile, they all work wonderfully. And it's what they describe as a responsive app, i.e. it recognises I'm on a tablet this size, I'm on a phone this size, I'm on a laptop this size, and the screen adapts. Okay, it adapts and it gives you a view that is useful, that you can work with, rather than you using a little phone like that where you're kind of scrolling back and forward and up and down. You're not doing that anymore. It's responsive. It realises I'm on this size of a screen, therefore I'll adapt what you see to that, and you scroll down the page looking at the data as opposed to trying to scroll right and left. So that's very important, and that's a big game changer. Workflow, as Will has mentioned, that's probably one of the things that's had the most excitement amongst people. At the moment, for example, within NAV there is purchase order authorization, workflow, that kind of stuff. That in NAV 2016 has been replaced by this whole new workflow engine that lets us build all sorts of different workflows. And I'll take a little look at that in a second. Other things to note, in fact I maybe should have mentioned here, we'll come back to this, but these little blue screens, these are what they call cue cards. And just a nice little kind of mini KPI into how your business is progressing. Maybe you can't read that at the back, but how many open sales orders do I have? How many orders have I got ready to ship? What's my average day delays? And just the ability to capture key data and have it sitting on your desktop or on your phone is just a fantastic piece of capability now. As Will has mentioned, there's exciting stuff for the accountants. Posting preview. At the moment in NAV, yes, I can say I'm about to post something, I can do a test report that tells me what's going to happen. It's a piece of paper and it says this is what's going to happen or this is what's wrong with this posting. Now what we have is a thing called a posting preview. I can actually say, right, if I post this, what's going to happen? And it's going to say, well, you'll update all these accounts here, you'll update the VAT tables over here. You can even drill into those entries. So you can actually get a very, very detailed look at what is about to happen when you do this particular posting. That's quite important. And deferrals is great as well. It's something that we've often had people ask. We've done a little bit of work around it ourselves, but people say, I've got an invoice here, it's for £12,000. I'd like it to hit my account every 3 months, a quarter of it every 3 months going forward. You can just set these up. You can set up deferral periods. You can say, I want take a 12th of this every month going forward. I want to take a quarter of this every quarter. So just nice little things for the accountants in us. Okay, so let's fire up NAV, and what I'll do first is I'm going to nip into here. So I can't see that. I've got to go back to my desktop because we're on PowerPoint. Right, so this is Dynamics NAV as a web client. Okay, and just get that picture in your mind. That's me using Dynamics on the web. I could go into sales orders, etc., etc. Okay, so I'll close that. And what I'll do now is I'll do a similar thing, but I'm going to go in. This is the tablet client. Now you're not really seeing that there, but if I was using my mobile phone, what you'd see there is that the information is down the screen. So what it's doing is it's displaying the data in a way that it's realising I'm on a tablet. I'm just showing it as a kind of web client. The reason I'm showing you that is because I can't use the phone thing to show you this. And then the third thing I wanted to do is just open up the standard Windows client. Okay. Now, first thing what you should take from that is, it doesn't matter whether it's a web client, mobile tablet, on the desktop, it always looks the same. For those of you who have not seen NAV 2016, I'll just talk you around this. So what we have here is, this is called the desktop in the middle. Along the top we have a ribbon, and down here we have a kind of menu bar. And every one of those can be tailor-made to suit the user. So in this particular case, I'm in as the MD, and as the MD, what I'm interested in is things like the financial performance of the company, the cash flow, sales performance, and I can sort of move forward through the periods. Play around with the display I'm looking at, cash flow, etc., etc. A couple of things that are very nice now. When I go to print the report, I've got the options. I can say I want to print the report just straight to the printer. So let me take an example. I'm going to do my customer top 10 list. What you see there is I can print it, I can send it to a PDF, I can create a Word document from it if I want to then take the document and edit it. I can send it straight to Excel, or I can schedule it. That's quite a nice thing, because what you can say is, I've got quite a big report, I meant to run it this afternoon, forgot to run it, set it up to run tonight. Set it to run every night. Every morning, I'll come in, and sitting in my in tray will be these reports that I ran yesterday. So there's a custom item sales, somebody aging, accounts receivable. So this ability to pre-run reports, schedule them to run, and they're there in the morning when you come in, is a great little thing. Notifications is like having a little kind of internal email system. And this example here, what I've got is that I'm asking someone to have a look at the price on a particular sales quote. Looks a bit high, and by the way, there's no credit limit set. Could somebody maybe check that as well? So again, you double click on that, and what it does is it actually takes you to the particular document we're talking about. So this ability to communicate with people in the organisation, say, I think you need to have a look at this, is all quite nice. And then from there, click on the customer number, and yeah, sure enough, we find that there's no credit limit set on this particular item. So the ability to communicate with your colleagues by this kind of internal Navision email, if you like, quite a nice piece of functionality. Everything that you're looking at on that desk, you have the capability as a user to customize. So customize the ribbon, customize the page, customize the navigation page. Customize the page, if I just click on that bit. Well, we're on the ribbon first of all. So what you're seeing there is all the actions down the side. I can play around, add them, subtract them, add them to the menu, take them off the menu. I customize the page. Let's take that one. What that's pointing at is all these boxes. These are all little individual windows on the screen here. If I want to move them around, add new ones, they'll take things off. I maybe want to add vendors, but take my notifications off. Remove that, and say OK. Instantly changes. So now I've got financial reports over here, cash flow sales, and then my vendors is listed in over that side. So you've got that ability as a user to take that standard desktop and then alter it. What's also important is finding your way around the system. This is like using Internet Explorer. So if I start typing in the top corner there, say I want to go to role tailored clients, to start typing, it will find everything in the system that's about that. So it takes me over into here. I can look at my profiles. And this gives you an example of how many profiles are already set up. So if you're the person who's responsible for production, or order processing, or the machine operator in manufacturing, or you're the bookkeeper looking after accounts, managing projects, doing the purchasing, whichever role you have in the organisation, that's the starting point when we set up NAV for you. So the individual users can have their own view. So if I take, for example, let's find out when I can actually, we're on managing director at the moment. Keeper, I had one tablet user, can you see that? I'll take the small business one. Right, so right click, edit that, and I'm going to make that my default. Say OK, and I'll do is I'll quickly nip out. Back in again. I've got a completely different view, okay? So this is the kind of bookkeeper view. And the nice thing on this is if I take any of these are the cue cards I mentioned, and you'll notice a couple of things, as well as having statistics in them. That's got a red band, that's got a green band, that's got red, that's got amber, because you're able as a user to say, what are my tolerances in which I'm upset by something. So I'm not happy that my overdue sales are over 169,000. I can have a look at these queues, and you can see that's where I'm setting up the thresholds to say, if that's red, it's bad, if it's amber, they say ambiguous, I'm saying neutral, and if it's green, it's favourable. Okay? So you can set these up, so you're getting almost inbuilt KPIs before you even start. The other thing is, this is all touchscreen, so if I'm using a tablet, and if I'm saying, right, my overdue sales amount, 165, I'm not happy with that, 169, touch that, then it brings up the list of which ones they are. So I can drill into those and I can see what's the problem with those. I've also got a great way of automatically taking myself right out of NAV really fast. Feature with the related benefits.
Yes, I've been doing that as well.
Okay. So let me go back to role tailor client. So I'll go back in and be the big boss again. And the reason I'm doing this is just to make sure that I've got all of the rights. So MD. So where do I keep using this? Use the mouse. Edit. Yeah, default, okay, and then select server, back out. Okay, so back into the big boss. So a couple of things I wanted to also highlight. We mentioned workflow. So if I start typing at the top, workflows, so if I go to workflows, and what you'll see there is that we have workflow templates already set up. That's workflow templates. Workflows, templates. So what Microsoft have given us is, even when we start using workflows, out of the box we've got all of these different starting templates. So if we start using workflows with inside NAV, we could start with pre-built templates. So that makes it really, really handy. So for example, if I'm looking at something like customer credit limit change, so what I can say to the system is, yeah, I'm going to use that as the basis of my workflow. So it then says, well, here are the steps. Basically what you have is, when this event, check this condition, and if that condition is met, then this is your response. So pretty kind of logical. So if I say, let's have a look at this one, credit limit is changed. Now I can go in here and I can say, actually, I'm not just focusing on whether the credit limit changes, increase, decrease, and I just know, even if if anybody changes the credit limit, I want to know about that. And then, your response, so you come in here, what do you want your response to be? And again, there's a whole set of standard responses. And again, you can come in here and say, well, I'm going to just pick something up. I'm going to create a notification for a particular person. So you do that, and what this is doing here is, this is just going into a list of the users on the system. So I can say that if, I'm just doing a simple example, but you can understand these can be quite complex, but if someone changes the credit limit on a customer's account, I want you to tell Jack. Okay. And then to enable that, you simply tick on here, and that's it. I missed out some steps, and then okay, and that's it, ready to go. And if you look at any of these particular ones, you'll find that there's, a whole set of ready to use conditions to look for, and then what to do with those conditions. And as Will was saying earlier on, this is really built up into being, quite a big deal for people like ourselves rolling out new versions of NAV, because people are thinking lots of things. If the whole thing that we used to have for purchase order authorization, that's a kind of game changer for all of that. But it's putting a lot of this control into the hands of the users. And it's a good example of Microsoft looking at what people are looking to do with the product, and say, what other functionality can we put in there that makes it useful for people to use it. So I'm conscious of the time. I'm going to be ready with this next door later on if anybody wants to have a closer look at any part of it. I'm not going to sort of waste anybody's time looking at all the kind of standard, you know, debits and credits and invoices and quotes and stuff. This is really about just saying that there is a lot more really nice stuff that's been built into it. And for a user, it's actually it's a great piece of software to start playing around with. I think that gets us back on time, doesn't it? All right. In which case, if Richard, you ready, Richard?
Yeah.
So I'm going to hand over to Richard.